Welcome, beautiful people. It's your girl, Domasha K. You are locked in with Zipmouth Motivation, the space where we break the silence, drop truth, and get our mindset all the way right. And when I say all the way right, all the way right. We are getting right. This is what I'm talking about. It's hot. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I'm hot everywhere. But in Florida, it is summertime, so it has been extra hot. But I am here today, tonight, whatever time it is, wherever you are. We're going to talk about some real stuff. I don't know if y'all know, but it's men's mental health month. And so even though I haven't seen a lot about it, but I'm not a man either, so it could just be my algorithm. But even though I haven't seen a lot about it, I wanted to take some time and really kind of, let's dig into it for a second, let's talk about it for a second. So tonight or today or whatever time it is where you are, we're talking about something that men's mental health often gets pushed to the side because for whatever reason, we think it's funny when men are going through things. We laugh, oh, you could go through that. Oh, you could take that. Oh, we got so many reserves as it pertains to men. But I think we forget most of the time that men are human too, they're human too. They have feelings just like we have feelings. They go through things just like we go through things. I think we think that because the body parts separate us, that makes them less or more human than who we are. But fellas, this one is for you. This one is for you. And I don't know if people know it, and I don't know if I've said it before in any of my podcasts, but men are my target audience. That's my target audience. And I know sometimes people are like, well, wait a minute. I've never sexualized or geared towards anyone, but men are my target audience because I feel like women, we have all these different avenues of healing, of we can either be mad or we can be happy, and nobody thinks anything different of it because it's oh well, women are emotional, so it's okay if they're sporadic in their behaviors. But it's as soon as a man starts being sporadic in his behaviors, it goes unnoticed, or we tell him man up, or we tell him he's being weak, or we always have some kind of something against men. But ladies, this episode will also help you understand the battles of the men around you who may never speak. And how often is it that you find that some men just don't talk about what they go through? They just don't talk about it. And it's not because they're not going through anything, because that's not the truth at all. Most times it's because nobody's listening anyway. Or I'm supposed to carry the load, or I'm supposed to be the strong one, I'm supposed to help everybody get through their stuff. I'm not allowed to have nothing going on in my life. So grab your tea, take a breath, breathe it in, and let's dive in. This isn't about weakness. This is about freedom. And if by chance I can help someone be free, if it's just one person, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with freedom. I'm okay with displaying freedom, helping people find freedom. I'm okay with it. But let's keep it real. Most men were never taught how to feel. And I know some people will be like, well, I grew up with a dad, and so I learned. And then there are some people that didn't have that opportunity, who didn't have the opportunity to have uncles and aunts and cousins. And some people had a dad and they just never, their dad didn't teach those things because their dad probably was never taught. So they didn't know how to teach. Y'all were taught to man up and don't cry and handle it. I don't think people tell men like it's okay to be frustrated, like it's okay to be mad, it's okay to it's okay to feel. And so many of you are walking around with a smile, but inside you're exhausted, you're numb, angry, and lost. I think in the last couple of months, a lot of gentlemen that I have been reading and meeting or going to networking events, and we get into a conversation, a lot of them keep saying, I'm tired. I'm tired. I am tired. And you know what I say? It's okay. You can be tired. There's nothing wrong with you being tired. Let's break down a few stats. Suicide rates, right? When you get to talking about suicide rates for men are 3 to 4 times higher than women. 3 to 4 times higher than women. But we ignore that. We ignore the fact that just recently a gentleman jumped off a bridge in Georgia. We ignore the fact that before that, another gentleman that I read or saw something, a clip of, he just took himself out. We ignore the fact that recently 2 twin brothers took their selves out of here. Like, we ignore these things. And it's not fair for us to keep ignoring them because men are suffering too. Some of the other stats are Black men are less likely to speak or seek mental health treatment. That makes me frustrated because I don't think that people understand like the traumas that men, but especially Black men, face. And then I think I talked about this before in one of my podcasts, how trauma starts in the womb, you know? So trauma starts right when your egg is inside of your mother. That's where the trauma starts. So if there are some past traumas that happen in your family, like what they call them, quote unquote, generational curses, right? It's really the trauma that started way back then. I was expressing to someone one day, and I was like, a lot of people will say like, oh, well, Black men don't like to work, and Black men this, and Black men that, Black men, they'll say all this stuff, whatever. And I was telling them, well, imagine if these men are facing the trauma that their ancestors faced. Imagine them not wanting to work for anybody because they're afraid that someone can take something from them in the blink of the eye, like it happened with their ancestors. Imagine, just for a second, just humor me for a second, right? Imagine if the reason why they don't want to work for anyone and they want to have their own businesses and they want to do their own thing is because they don't want anyone to try to demonize what they do, or they don't want anyone to make things hard for them. I don't know. I'm not, I'm not the man. I don't know. But imagine that they're facing traumas from way back that started it. I'm just saying. And then another stat is society still shames men for needing help. Although we have like heal men are healing, men are doing yoga, and they're getting their own places and getting on their feet, and they're doing wonderful things. We still have some men that haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg of these things because these things are not placed in front of them for them to see. We still have some men that are struggling with who they are and how to be a better person. We still have some men that are unlearned because they didn't get a proper education when they were in school. So now, today, they're struggling a little bit. Now, today, they're struggling. But here's the thing. Silence does not make you stronger. It makes you suffer longer. I'm going to say that again. Silence does not make you stronger. It makes you suffer longer. And a lot of times men feel like they have to suffer. I don't know where that comes from, but they do. They feel like they have to suffer because they have to be on point for their family. But I always say, like, how can you be on point for your family if you're not on point for yourself? And I'm not just saying that to women, I'm saying that to men too. Men too. Men don't need to suffer just like women don't need to suffer. If we can unify things and set the record straight on certain things, then maybe things will be a lot easier for all of us. Maybe it'll be a lot easier for all. Let's talk about the weight that men carry. Being a provider. Like being a provider. I am personally a single mom. I am tired of being a provider. I'm literally tired of it. I'm tired of it. I am tired of being the provider. So I can imagine how a man feels having to be the provider all the time. I say it again, I'm a single mom and I'm the protector. Now that my boys are older, they become more protective. But at the end of the day, if something happens, as the mother and as the provider in this home, it is my job. It is my job to be the provider and the protector. So if somebody kicked that door in, I got to be ready to go at any moment. So I can only imagine how men feel being that they are men and everybody always throwing up in your face, well, you're supposed to protect and you're supposed to provide and you're supposed to solve all the problems. Okay. I'm the problem solver in my house. It's stressful. It is stressful. You have good days and you have bad days. And you have days where you feel like fighting and you have days that you feel like, I can't do this. And there are days that even I feel like I need to share this with somebody. I literally need to share this responsibility with somebody. So I can only imagine how you can feel like all your life, this is what they told you you were, the provider, the protector, the problem solver. But they told you these things, but then they didn't give you tools. Or everybody wasn't provided with the same tools, but everybody has the same responsibility. That doesn't make sense to me. That does not make sense to me. Men are expected to be emotionally available, but never emotionally weak. How? Being a provider? Are y'all crazy? My favorite thing now is like, are y'all okay? So he has to be the provider, but he can't be emotionally weak sometimes. He has to be the protector, but he can't be emotionally weak sometimes. He has to be the problem solver, but he can't be emotionally weak sometimes. For 1 second, though, for 1 second, ladies, put yourself in the place of having to be a provider, sole provider, doing everything, right? And then put yourself in the position of having to protect, meaning like you always have to make sure everything is on point. So everybody around you, meaning your family, is feeling protected. And then you are the one that is listening to everybody's problems and situations, and then trying to solve problems, and then trying to solve your own personal problems and other problems for maybe your family that you're taking care of and you're providing for and you're caring for. But at no point are you allowed to break. How? That's a robot, not a human. It's definitely a robot, not a human. Carrying childhood trauma, racial trauma, father wounds, like if you didn't have a father or you didn't have someone to support you or be there for you or anything like that, carrying those different things with you. And told to just deal with it. Just deal with it. Just deal with it. You know what I mean? You're strong. You can go through it. Earlier today, I was like, I don't want to be a strong person no more. Somebody come get me. Like literally, I can feel like, why are we placing all of these things on one person and then telling them to detach? And then we're saying, well, we need our men to be strong, and we need our men to be there for us, and we need our men to do this, and we need our men to do that, and it's more strange trying to watch men do this. It's strange trying to watch. It's so strange watching like some of my like male friends and some of my family members. It's so strange watching them battle so many different things every single day, and no one ever asking like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need something? Do you need help with something? Is there something that I can do for you? Is there something that I can help you with? Do you need somebody to talk to? Or how about let me just start talking. Let me tell you how much I appreciate you and appreciate what you're doing. Some of you gentlemen weren't taught emotional intelligence. Just survival. And I can go on and on and on about being stuck in survival mode. And how you never attach, and how you detach from your children, how you detach from your wife, and how you detach from your job, and how you detach from so many things because you're stuck in survival. You're never able to balance the two. Some of y'all grew up hearing, stop acting like a little girl every time you felt pain. So now you isolate, you snap, you shut down. So many different things. This segment can include or will include just a moment of reflection, right? Just a moment of reflection. Because even what I said in the beginning just now was a little heavy, and maybe for a second, if you're a man or if you're a woman and you're listening to the show, maybe you can do it like for just 1 second. Take a minute right now and ask yourself, when was the last time you felt safe enough to cry? Not in front of somebody, right? Just in your own space. And why is that moment so rare? Ask it. When was the last time you felt safe enough to cry? I did a podcast a couple of months back on Men Don't Cry. And you got to go back and listen to it. Because I'm not talking about like crying in front of someone. I'm talking about like where you're just sitting to yourself and that ball of like, I call it mass, like that ball is in your chest. You got this ball in your chest. And it's like frustrating you and it's bothering you. And it's like you can't breathe and you just sit there and your face all balled up because you're frustrated. And maybe people are asking you if you're okay. And you're saying nothing's wrong. But when was the last time you felt safe enough to say, I'm not okay? When was the last time that you broke down in your car, in the bathroom, in the shower, in a space, and just cried like a baby? Like a complete baby. And then if it hasn't been a long time, ask yourself, why is this moment so rare? I always tell people, it's okay to cry. Because what crying does is crying makes you breathe. It makes you let that tightness in your chest, it makes you let that go. Because when you start crying, you start gasping for air a little bit, like sniffling, and you have no choice but to breathe. Absolutely no choice except for see, depression, it doesn't allow us to look sad always. And sometimes, like you can have someone talking to you about their relationship and they can talk to you about the man that they're with and just different things like that. Like you could be in conversation with a person like that, right? And they could be saying like, well, he's not saying nothing. He's not having a conversation with me and he won't talk to me about what he's going through. And I feel like if I'm his wife or I'm his girlfriend or I'm his woman or whatever I am to him, I feel like he should be able to talk to me. But sometimes you have to let them talk to you on their own. And sometimes we add fuel to the fire because sometimes depression doesn't come out the way that we think it should with men. Sometimes it comes out in anger, frustration, coming in the house, not saying anything, kind of under his breath a little bit, talking to you, but not really talking to you. And then we take it personal instead of just asking the question. Are you frustrated? Direct question. 9 times out of 10, when you ask a man a direct question, they're going to answer it directly. Yes. And at that point, you just say, okay. And when he feels comfortable enough, he will come to you and he will say what's on his mind. And it may not be that same day. It may not be that same day. And he may say to you when you asking him that, yes, I am frustrated. It has nothing to do with you or us. Because you know how we are sometimes, ladies, we take things very personal when it comes to our men. When it comes to our dads, when we come to our family members, and we feel like you should be talking to me right now, but they have been taught not to, they have been conditioned not to, they have been conditioned to not be emotional. Because it's looked at as a weakness. Sometimes depression comes out in overworking. I think this is one of the biggest complaints that I hear from ladies sometimes is that my husband's working all the time, or my boyfriend's working all the time, or my male friend is working all the time, and all he does is work. And we don't need money, and it may seem that way to you. But maybe that's his only outlet. Maybe his only outlet is going to work. If he drives trucks, or if he works in a plant, or if he's a nurse, or maybe that's his only outlet because that's the thing that makes him feel at peace. It makes him feel like a man getting up and taking care of his family and being that provider and that protector. And sometimes depression comes out in substance abuse. And sometimes that is the hardest. Because it is hard to help someone who is abusing their self. Because when you try to support them, they might abuse you. So in these instances, you have to know when to walk away. You have to know, how can I help him? How can I support them? There have been people that have been in addiction and I allowed them to stay in their addiction. Because unless you're ready to change, you're not going to change. There's nothing that I can do to argue with you, to try to, nothing I can do. Because you have to make a choice when it comes to addiction. Some people avoid family members. Sometimes depression is avoiding family, and maybe it's avoiding you as a woman. Sometimes men do that. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. Only about them and what they're feeling at the moment. Sometimes depression will come out in dangerous ways, in ways that are uncontrollable. And you may try to control them, but you have to remember that you are only in control of you. You're only in control of you. You can't control what's happening, although we want to. But these are just signs to look for. And then the last one is isolation. Sometimes in men, depression looks like isolation. Isolating themselves from everybody in the world. Maybe just getting up and going to work and not really in tune with anybody or anything. Isolating themselves. And people say, oh, he's just tripping. When in reality, he is screaming for help. But there was no one there. No one got it. No one sees it. We just kind of like overlook it. Oh, he's angry. Oh, he's just a workaholic. Oh yeah, he gonna be a drug head for the rest of his life. He don't never come around family. Oh, he's driving 85 down to 30 miles an hour. He does that all the time. That's just who he is. Oh, I don't know. We haven't seen him in a year. We talk to him though. He texts us. This is how it comes out. And we don't take it serious. Today I've seen one of the most horrific domestic violence cases. And as I'm watching like the different videos that people are posting, I'm wondering like, with this gentleman, I'm like, he had to show something. Because as I'm looking at his videos and I'm looking at his eyes, you can see the hurt. You can see the hurt in his eyes from this toxic relationship. You can see that something in his mind is not clicking properly. But it was almost like, because this is the relationship that him and this young lady had before he removed her from this world and then removed himself from this world. The relationship that they had was like this all the time. But you can also see when she was talking to him, you can also see the patience in him too. It was so many different things, like watching all those videos, you can see so many different things in him going back and forth, but his eyes never changed. And I wondered to myself, how long did he feel this? Like, how long was he in that moment? And nobody noticed the frustration, the pain, the hurt. And I'm not negating the fact that he did something to someone else. Because I wondered too about her. How long did both of these issues within them go unnoticed before anybody said something? Now, it seemed to me, just reading different things, it seemed to me like she was more vocal with what she felt. But you didn't see that in anything that was coming across for him. And so it made me think about today's show and about the notes that I took. And I was like, I wonder if by chance, him and her could have been saved. I wonder if they could have been saved. Like, if someone would have noticed and not took it so lightly of the situations that they were going through and just saying, well, this is how they do, this is their relationship, this has been their relationship. But if someone would have noticed in his eyes, there was hurt. And sometimes people just snap. They snap. They snap. And when they snap, there is nothing we can do about it. There's absolutely nothing. Because by the time someone snaps, especially a man, they have done something that they may regret for the rest of their life. It's the snap. It is 100% the snap. Let me say this with my whole chest. Getting there does not make you strong. It makes you strong enough to deal with what's been breaking you down for years. And remember, I said that, listen now, trauma starts in the womb. So at the point of your grandmother being pregnant with your mother, and your mother having these little eggs inside of her, that's when trauma starts in your life. So they call it generational cursing, but that's scientifically, that's when trauma starts. So you have to break, I think the whole world needs therapy. We all need it to some degree. But for men, it makes them feel like this is a weakness, like I have to talk to some men. Because there are some men that go to therapy and they go faithfully, and it's changing and transforming their life, and they're becoming a better person. But how did they get to that point? How did they get to the point to where they're not afraid to go and say, listen, I need therapy. I need therapy. Real strength is being accountable. And we talked about accountability because, like we have these labels on what men should be doing. Providing, protecting, solving problems. But there's other things that they have to be accountable for. In the midst of all of that, there are still things like they have to be accountable to for themselves. And I think that we put men in this space where they have to do everything for us and nothing for themselves. And how can you support anybody in anything if you're not healthy yourself? And I mean healthy mentally, physically, emotionally. Like if you're not healthy yourself, how can you do it? That doesn't add up. Regardless of the situation, it doesn't add up. Regardless of what the world has told you, it doesn't add up. I just told you 3 out of 4 men commit suicide. 3 out of 4 men. That means only 1% don't. And it's a struggle. Some men are healing from what their fathers didn't. So the traumas that their fathers had, now they're trying to heal from those traumas, and they don't even understand why they have those traumas. Mothers will raise sons in single parent homes, right? Sons will never see abuse. They will never see abuse. But then as they get older, they will realize that they become an abuser. And they're trying to figure out, when did I start doing this? And then their mom sits them down one day and she told them, your dad was an abuser. But why did I start abusing? Because I never seen him do that. I never seen a man abuse you. I just told you, trauma starts in the womb. Maybe you never seen your mom get abused, but she probably did. I wish men, and this is big one, I really wish men would learn, just like women, how to protect their peace. Literally, like how to protect your peace. I love peace so much, nobody's messing with me. And I wish I could see men do that. Every Monday, I take a day. And I think I said this before. But every Monday, I take a day. And I just do what I want to do. I go to work, and then I leave work, and I do whatever I want to do. And it doesn't matter if someone does it with me or not. I'm at peace. This is what I want to do. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I don't care. Because Monday is my day for complete peace. complete peace. Leading with clarity, not chaos, is a real strength. This is strength. Whether we want to accept it or not, real strength is being accountable, healing what your father didn't, protecting your peace, and leading with clarity and not chaos. Because men can be messy too. But sometimes we were taught to be messy. Men, this is legacy work. Like, you are doing legacy work right now. This is how you raise your sons who aren't emotionally broken at 12. This is how you show your daughter what emotionally available looks like. I am grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for my dad, my grandfather. I'm grateful for the men in my life because I had the opportunity to see and feel what it feels like to be loved. To be loved. I'm in my 40s, mid 40s, and I still get treated like a princess or a queen or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. To my sisters, mothers, partners. I know we want men to open. Like, I know. Sometimes, like, my sons are frustrated and I want them to talk to me and tell me what's going on. And then if they don't, okay, fine. But they always come later on. Well, Mom, but we do want to create a space, ladies. We want to create a space where they can feel safe doing it. We want to create that space. And how do we create that space? By listening. Listening to the unspoken words. By looking in their eyes, saying, hey, you're doing a great job. Do you need me to help? And I know some ladies going to say, well, my man don't like me to lock the doors. He wants to lock the doors. He wants to be able to check the house. That's completely fine. You just lock the doors and then he can go around and still check the house. If he brings the groceries in, you put the groceries up. If he cooks, you wash the dishes. If you cook, he washes the dishes. Not only is he protecting you, but you should be protecting him too. Because you want to protect his mind, his spirit, and you want to protect his emotions. So you want to know that, hey, it's okay, right? Everything's okay. Do you need support? Do you need a break? People have this thing about going 50-50. If you go 50-50 with a woman, you are not a man. I don't like that. I don't like that because I just don't feel like it makes you a man to pay all the bills. I pay all the bills in my home right now. I don't need a man to pay all my bills in my home. I need him to be emotionally available. I need him to be at peace. He's going to protect me, but I'm also going to protect him in other ways. I don't know why this world, this society thinks that you can live off of one income. I don't know why we do that. I don't know why we put the pressure on men to be the be-all, do-all, think-all, move-all. But women naturally handle multitasking better. Sometimes I think that we forget about being human. It's important that we don't mock their pain. We don't mock their pain. And you have to ask yourself, do we weaponize their vulnerability when we're mad? Because why is it that we have 3 out of 4 men will commit suicide compared to women? Let's be a safe place, not a source of shame. Not a source of shame, but a safe place. And I'm not going to tell you, ladies, that all men are going to respond to you properly in this, with you providing a safe space. But I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that sometimes when you're trying to provide this safe space, that they're still not going to be angry, isolate, get frustrated, not want to talk, disconnect. I'm not going to tell you that. But I'm going to tell you that healing trauma takes time. It's just a question of, are you willing to wait the time? Are you willing to go through it where it's not detrimental and damaging to you? Because that's the big question. Because I'm also not telling the ladies, men, to just put up with all the nonsense. Because you have to choose to be you. It's a choice. And so you have to choose whether you want to be healed or you don't want to be healed. And that choice is up to you. To my brother, you are not weak, broken, or less of a man for needing help. You are human. Human. I said before, I don't teach my sons how to be men because I cannot teach them how to be that. I'm a lady. And I'm a girly girl. Like, I'm literally a girly girl. So I cannot teach them how to be men. But what I do teach them is how to be good human beings. I teach them how to be good human beings. I teach them emotional intelligence. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be so angry that you spend 6 hours on the basketball court trying to do threes. It is okay. It's okay to scream. It's okay. You don't have to hold back just because you're a man. More so, you have to outsource so that you're okay, so that you stay sane. And if you're listening to this today, that means it's still here. And that means there's still purpose in you. There is still purpose in you. And don't let anybody take that away from you. Absolutely nobody. Nobody should be able to take that away from you. Don't let pain turn into cold. Because a lot of times, instead of men being able to release pain, they have to turn it into cold. It's why we have all these, what is the song? I got the icebox where my heart used to be. Why? Why do we have that? Because humans are flesh, right? Flesh and blood, bone of my bone, body of my body. That's what humans are, correct? But for whatever reason, we'll fall into this weakness. We'll fall into this weakness where, and I'm saying this is a weakness of turning your heart cold, man. It's a weakness. Don't let trauma become your personality. It's easy to do that. It's easy to go through the battles and then allow trauma to become who you are. You're better than that. You are more than what hurt you or what can hurt you. You are more than that. And y'all know 100%, I'm going to give you some tools. I'm going to give you some tools. And no, these are not going to be easy tools. I get it. You know, sometimes, people like inboxing me like, okay, you told me to do that. I don't know if I can do that. Now I got to talk you off the ledge because you can't. You can do it. The first tool, talk to somebody. A therapist, a mentor, a brother, a coach, somebody talk to somebody. Muster up that courage to talk to someone and then let those tears flow. Turn off the camera if you're in a session. If you're with your brother, someone who understands emotional intelligence, he's going to cry with you. If you're with a mentor or a coach, they're going to cry with you. I know some men don't write and some men do write, but journal. Write what you don't feel safe saying to anyone then. It's okay. I always tell people, like, if you feel like you can't say something to me openly, if you feel like you just can't, you cannot say something to me openly, then write it down. Send it in a text message. I'm going to read it. I'm definitely going to read it. Move your body. Move your body. Exercise helps you get rid of mental fog. And I don't think people understand how important it is just to take a little 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk, just to kind of like release everything that's within you and be able to get to this next step. Move your body, get rid of that mental fog. And for some, this next one might be easy, and for some, it might be hard. But I want you to think about it. And I want you to think about what it does to you chemically. Limit the alcohol and intoxicants. You know, they numb you. But when you're drinking this alcohol and you're getting excessive, it feels like everything goes away. You're getting excessively high. You're taking a pill or doing something to numb it. It's only numb for the moment, but then when you're not numb anymore, like when you come down, it seems like that thing hits you like a ton of bricks. Because now you're back in that same mental space. Because now you're cycling. You're recycling. You just had these thoughts and you got drunk, you forgot about them, or you got high, you forgot about them, but then they're back again. Recycling, but never healing them. I always tell people, break the cycle. Whatever you can do to break your cycle, break the cycle. Because that numbness doesn't support you. It doesn't help your growth. It doesn't help who you are. It only feels good for the minute. It's like getting this big open cut on your arm, right? You got this big open cut that's deep down to your bone where you can see your bone. And you go to the store and you tell them, hey, I need a Band-Aid. And they give you a box of like Band-Aids that you would put a paper cut on. Can you imagine the look on your face when they do that to you? You're going to be upset. Like, what the hell? Why would you give me this? You see my bone hanging out. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with numbing it. Only thing like being excessively drunk or being excessively high, only thing that does is it numbs it for the moment. But it doesn't change the reality of what's happening. And my favorite one is join the men's group or healing circle. I saw this men's group on TikTok or on maybe Instagram or something the other day. I saw it was like men travel group. Ladies, we have all kind of ladies travel group, ladies hike, ladies do this, ladies do that. We have all these groups. And when we get in these groups, guys, we are not just hiking. We are not just going to restaurants. We're crying together, we're laughing together, we're celebrating different things. I mean, like, we're all in most of the time. We are all in most of the time. And I feel like men need that too. I feel like you guys need that too. People say, oh, I think it's soft for men to have a lot of male friends, this, that, and the other. But men really have a lot of male friends. I just don't think that y'all always talk to them. I think that sometimes you do. But I don't think it's always Like I do this thing we do all the time. And here is the time for you to do it. Because we need to start breaking the silence. We did a whole 2-3 years of healing for women. It's time to step into a new era. And as usual, y'all know I'm giving y'all an affirmation. So men, write this down or record this or whatever you need to do. My pain is real, but so is my power. I deserve peace, and I am choosing it today. My pain is real, but so is my power. I deserve peace. I deserve peace, and I am choosing it today. You deserve it. You literally deserve it. You deserve peace just like women deserve peace. You deserve support just like women deserve support. Let's just take a moment. We're gonna breathe it in. Breathe it in, breathe it in, breathe it in. And then you're gonna count 1, 2, 3. Now breathe it out. Again, let's do it one more time. Breathe it in. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Now breathe it out. You've been listening to Zipmouth Motivation, where silence gets unzipped and healing gets real. Fellas, I see you. This world may not always celebrate your softness, but I promise it's part of your strength. It is definitely part of your strength. To the women listening, let's love our men out loud. Not just when they perform, but even when they're in the process. And I'm not telling you ladies to fall in love with potential. I'm telling you, like, let's love all men out loud. Because I promise, sometimes I feel like a man. I want to be in my soft girl era, and I'm struggling to get there. Support is always nice. Don't forget to support Tonight Divine Tea, because the mind, body, and spirit is not just for women, but for men as well. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. to 101.5 Indie Radio. And you can definitely catch us starting June 4th on JessTV Fast Season 2. There are shows that will be in rotation. Look at all the shows, y'all. Wonderful. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Something that you could really get into. If you like music, you have music. Reggae with Yaya. We got Who Got Next. We got all the different shows on there that you would be able to appreciate. Like I said, don't forget to tune in to 101.5 Indie Radio every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. where you can catch Zipmouth Motivation Show. This is internet radio. I personally love you all. I thank you all for listening to the show and just being my source of open ear, because I talk for a whole hour. I talked for a whole hour. Until next time, right? Until next time. Unzip the side. Feel out loud. Feel out loud. I'm going to say it again. Feel out loud. You don't have to be ashamed of healing, of being a better person. I don't know why this world doesn't want. I don't know. But what I do know is for you to feel out loud. This is the conversation. I'm your girl. Until next time, stay real, stay whole, and stay powerful. I love y'all. I respect y'all.
Yeah.